Guys, welcome back to my channel. I have this Dollar Tree wood pumpkin that I'll be staining with this Minwax dark walnut stain that I have, and I normally use a rag, and I always use gloves when I stain anything. Just protect your hands, and just staining the front and the back and the sides of the pumpkin. I want to go ahead and make sure it is nice and stained, and using this harvest sign from Dollar Tree and some E6000, I'll be putting the E6000 on the wood pumpkin. Actually, I'll be putting it on the harvest sign and then putting it on the pumpkin. So I just want to go very light with the E6000 because I don't want it to like seep out of the sides of the letters. So I didn't like put globs of it. I just added some of the E6000 along the thickest part of the letters. Once I went ahead and placed the glue as much as I want it on there, I went and placed it on the top portion of the pumpkin because I'll be adding more letters on the bottom of harvest, so I wanted to make sure that was a little bit more on the top and in the center. So I went ahead and laid it on there, and then with this I wanted for it to be flat, so I had added some heavy items on top of the letters so that while it's drying I would make sure that it was flat. So I just wanted to put something on top while it dried, and I just added some like vases I had, and using some chalk paint. This is the Waverly chalk paint, and this one is in white. I'll be using this stencil that I created with my Cricut machine. I know not everybody has this, but you could definitely use like letters and print it out and just draw it on there. But once it's dry, I went ahead and put the stencil on the pumpkin. When I do this, I definitely want it to be centered and underneath the letters. I always go put my finger down the middle of the stencil, and then I work outwards. So with my squeegee, I'm working outwards with it. So I do it to one side and then I do it to the other side. Once I lay down the stencil with the squeegee, I went ahead and take off the transfer tape, and that's that clear part that's on top, and you just basically have to peel it off and the stencil should stay down. But sometimes with wood you have to be careful because it might come up, but for the most part you can just pull it off. But I want to go ahead and start painting it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it white first because I want the orange to, you know, stand out a little bit more than just placing the orange like by itself. But my mistake was I shouldn't have let the orange dry too long. I should have just started peeling the stencil off. But these DIY projects are always on the, like, they're trial and error. You learn by your mistakes. So next time I will definitely not let it dry that long. So this is with the white paint on. Then I'll be taking the Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin and putting one coat on top of the stencil. And my mistake was letting the orange paint dry, because what happened was that it started peeling some of the white paint. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll share that with you guys. When using this weeding tool, I started to pick up the stencil. You don't need the weeding tool, you could just use your fingers, but as you can see some of the white paint around the letters, but that's fine. It didn't really bother me that much because the actual letters did come out really nice and clean. Usually like some of the bleeding will, you know, happen with wood, but it didn't with this one. So I was happy about that. It was just some of the white paint around the letters, but other than that, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But I also picked up the inside of the bee, the little parts in there. You just have to be careful with stabbing the wood And I think it came out really nice. Now, I do have some ribbon that I'll be using. You can use any ribbon that you have. I found this on clearance at Walmart, and it was $1. I had this cream color, and then I also have a burnt orange color that I found for $1 as well. Always look at your clearance section at Walmart because you never know what you can find, and always think seasons ahead because you never know when you can use it. But I'm gonna definitely use the cream one. I just made a bow, and I'm gonna place it on the stem of the pumpkin. I don't want it lower than that because of the harvest sign. I want it to be shown, so I went ahead and just placed it on top, like by the stem part. So yeah, that's it for this DIY. Now, if anyone is interested, the first person that comments on my video and is subscribed to my channel will get a blessings stencil. Now, I will show you the stencil that I will be giving out. Like I said, it has to be someone here in the US, so it has to be a US physical address and be a subscriber and the first person to comment. So if you can send me your information, you will be getting this blessing stencil for anything you choose to, however you want to use it. And that is it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.